All right, a very good morning to you. It is so good to see you. Yes, we are outside today, and it's a very, very special day, not just for us as Nation Media Group, but for all the women across the globe, because we are doing things earlier, okay, as Nation Media Group, because we know the 8th of March is International Women's Day, and today we have convened a special day for all the women because we're celebrating International Women's Day, and this edition is very special to us because we are marking 5 years. We're celebrating 5 years of empowering women together, and we'll be focusing on the theme, advancing rights, justice, and action to all women and girls, and of course following the larger theme, and that is hashtag Give to Gain. My name is Winnie Lubembe, super happy to have you join us this morning because we have a jam-packed day for you throughout the day, and we are at the Movenpick Hotel. And today here we have a masterclass, and I'm really excited about this masterclass because it focuses on the woman's health and her choice, okay? So we're looking at her health, her choice, and this masterclass is specifically on that. And because we know for very many women, the journey with their bodies is complex. You know, we navigate expectations, especially, you know, around our bodies, how we should look, when we should have children, okay? And how quickly we should lose weight and what defines healthy. So today we want to really go deeper into it, unpack, you know, so many things and so many myths surrounding our weight, our choices, and especially when it comes to our health, but most importantly, get valuable insights from my panelists. But I am not doing this alone, okay? We have Dr. Diana. I'm pretty sure you know her, okay? We have Dr. Diana Wangari Gitau, who is the partnerships lead at Nation Media Foundation, and she is on standing by. Dr. Diana, you look absolutely amazing. Please say hi to the people and tell them what we'll be doing today.
Absolutely, Winnie. I mean, we are at Movenpick Hotel having this health masterclass, which is essentially what we do at Nation Media Group, Nation Media Foundation, where we're bringing health conversations to you, making information accessible. In front of us, we have a fantastic panel who are demystifying a lot of things that us as women always are silent about when we're busy juggling our careers, our families, our lives. And I just can't wait to interact with the panel and the audience as well.
Absolutely. We have an amazing audience, let me tell you, full of beautiful women. And we also have men in the house, which is the reason why I'm also excited, because when we're talking about the issues to do with, say, fertility, weight, I mean, we come from families, okay? And we're not just women alone. We have our fathers, we have brothers, we have our husbands as well. So we also have men, not just in the panel, but also in the audience. So we just want to say good morning to the audience. How are you? Good morning. Yes, you look beautiful. Say happy International Women's Day to all of you and to the person who sat next to you. Did you ask them their names? Did you ask them what they're excited about? So we'll be giving room as well to our beautiful audience to ask the questions. But really, as Dr. Diana said, there's so much, you know, that we deal with as women on a day-to-day basis. But we have experts here with us to really help us understand when it comes to our health, when it comes to our weight, when it comes to fertility. Because we're told you should have children by now. Dr. Diana, there's this one thing that I always struggle with, okay? 35. Women after 35. Me, I'm like, listen, that's a myth in my head. Eh? I'm like, that's not the thing, okay? Let's not talk about it. But sometimes we have to face these realities, right? Yeah. So it's going to be an amazing conversation. We'll allow room for questions from our audience, but let's give our panelists, first of all, a big round of applause for creating time to join us this morning and talk about matters of infertility, hormones, nutrition, and even medical interventions, really, which are deeply interconnected, okay? So first on our list, because this is a masterclass, so we'll allow each panelist around 15 minutes or 10 minutes if they're generous to do their presentation, and then we will open room for the discussion. So first up on the panelist this morning to give us a presentation is Dr. Mukami Gathariki, who is a board-certified plastic surgeon, and one of the directors of the Nairobi Scalp Aesthetics Center at Upper Hill, Nairobi. Let me tell you, her profile is like this much. We'll be here the entire day. So, Dr. Mukami, thank you so much for making the time. Happy International Women's Day to you.
Happy International Women's Day.
Let me tell you, it's a lot. When we're dealing with questions about our bodies and whatnot, you see, most of the time about the body autonomy and how it involves women, most of the time we either feel the pressure to get it done very quickly. So please just The floor is yours.
Asante sana. Thank you, Winnie, for having me. And for International Women's Day, it's a period that we get to celebrate women, and I get to work very closely with women. So it's a path that I feel I'm very passionate about. So when it comes to body and body image, we can be here the whole day, as you rightfully said. But today matters weight loss. So basically what I do, I am a plastic surgeon. Board certified means I am recognized by Kenya and internationally to be able to safely perform the surgeries. And I feel like that's a very important key element if you're reaching out or if you're deciding to go that step. So with plastic surgery, we do have a reconstructive arm and a cosmetic arm. So the reconstructive arm is burns, cancer, excision and coverage, cleft lip and palate, children born with some defects. Then we have the cosmetic arm, which elicits a lot of reaction. That's the liposuction, your tummy tuck, your BBL, and now matters weight loss, medical weight loss. We also handle that because sometimes we get that after weight loss, we then get to remove the excess skin. So for myself, I feel like plastic surgery should enable one to be who they are and to be confident in who they are. There's a lot of stigma surrounding it. So apart from the surgery, I do a lot of surgical education. I've actually done a course on surgical education because I feel like I want to get the narrative or what people think about plastic surgery out of people's heads or minds. So with plastic surgery, personally, I feel like if used well or if done well, it can really improve a lady's or even gentlemen, because we are catering, but today it's a woman's day. It does really improve one's confidence. I feel like how you look, how you dress, how you show up really matters, and it can make you a better person in terms of maybe how you work or how you present yourself to society. I have seen the drastic change that happens. For example, if we have done something like a tummy tuck, after a lady has given birth multiple times, there's something that happens, it's called diastasis recti. So this core muscle gapes. And you'll find that the lady is really trying, going to the gym, eating well, nutrition, doing everything within her means. But the stubborn tummy will not go away. It won't go away. So what we do basically is we repair that rectus muscle so that the tummy stops protruding. It's very hard to regain it via exercise. Only a small percentage of the ladies' population are able to do that. So we repair that. In the process, we do remove the stubborn pockets of fat and the excess skin, and you can see the confidence the lady has after the procedure. So for plastic surgery, image-wise, I feel like there's a lot to that. Matters weight loss, which is why we are here today. A very sensitive topic. And I feel like because it has been approached with no empathy, and it's used as a jab. Na umenona siku hizi, na nini unakula? It's used as a jab. So someone becomes a bit insecure about it, and they're afraid to seek help. Some people do not know that there is help out here. So when it comes to weight loss, we approach it from different angles. And we like to approach it holistically. So of course there's good nutrition. I will always advocate good nutrition. There's nothing that can replace a good lifestyle. I in fact don't like calling it a diet because I feel like a diet is passing. But if you adapt it as a lifestyle, it's something that you wake up to and it's automatic. So we have to eat well, and there's no negotiation with that. And we also have to incorporate some exercise. I'm not saying we go to the gym. The gym is not for everybody. The intense, taking your 10,000 steps, you can buy a small Fitbit, walking up the stairs instead of using the lift. I know it's a bit strenuous, but it does help. Now, when we do that and we still feel something is not working out, and I also want to bring out the fact that currently obesity has been classified as a chronic disease by WHO. So that really helps remove the stigma of someone having a high BMI or being overweight, because there's so many factors that contribute to one being overweight or having a high BMI. And this is above 30 and 35, although I know in the African population it's a bit different because we are curvaceous, so we might not entirely fit in that box. Yeah. So obesity has been classified as a chronic disease. And I feel like it's because there are very many elements to it. There's a psychological aspect. There's a reason why you will turn to food for comfort. Yeah? It just needs you to sit down and reflect, and also get someone to trigger you to think about that. Maybe you're going through a very stressful period in your life, and the bar of chocolate or the fries is what gives you comfort. Maybe it's after pregnancy, and Dietary will talk about it. It's very normal to add weight, and I don't like women having pressure of bouncing back immediately after pregnancy. We have to give you some grace to do what you have to do and to allow the body to do what it does. And then there's some genetic aspects. You'll find that in some families, obesity is a thing. Yeah. So there's so many things that we have to think about. So when someone comes to me and tells me, Dietary, I feel like I'm overweight and I'm not happy, the first consultation is to listen to you. Just pour out. Most of the time you'll find that they're going through a very difficult time and they turn to food. So with this, we bring in a psychologist or a psychiatrist, depending on, because we have to address that. If you lose the weight and you haven't addressed the reason behind the weight gain, you will bounce back. Yeah. Then number two, a nutritionist. We always work with nutritionists because they have to guide you on what to eat and how to eat. That's not my forte, so I have to bring someone. And then now we bring in the aspect of medical weight loss, which I know has been eliciting a lot of reaction. So medical weight loss is whereby we are using drugs. They are called GLP-1. Glucagon-like peptides. So in our body, we have a hormone called glucagon-like peptide. So it helps us to feel full. So this drug imitates that, but the beauty is that it works on the intestines, on the brain, a lot of areas, so that it helps you feel full for longer. It helps you desire food less, and it also helps the food to pass by slower. So it stays in the stomach for a bit longer so that you don't feel like eating too much. The reason it's eliciting a lot of reaction is that, number one, it hasn't been in the market for long. So people are afraid, what will happen to me 10 years from now? Number two, some people feel like it's a quick fix. Why can't you go to the gym like me? Or like other people? Why are you going through a shortcut? Number three, it is expensive. It's not accessible to anyone currently. I feel like in the future it will be. There are very many big farmers that are interested in it, but currently it's a bit expensive. And anything that is expensive and it's not reachable to everyone will always, and I have always said that the person who will come up with a weight loss drug will have solved a very big problem, and it's happening now. So for medical weight loss, we prescribe the drug. Of course, you have to do a very good consultation. There are some tests involved, and then we decide, okay, fine. If you have some comorbidities like hypertension and diabetes, sometimes it's a no-brainer, because obesity being a chronic illness, you could die. I know it's something that we don't like thinking about, but you could lose your life faster to hypertension and diabetes than the weight gain. So if you have that, we'll treat that automatically. But for someone who doesn't have a comorbidity, then we have to say, okay, let's put you on the medical weight loss. So it comes in a pen, and it lasts for a month. It's a bit expensive, but if done the right way, and this is a holistic approach, you will lose your weight. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, let's give her a hand. We have so many questions, okay? And today is not for me to ask questions. Today is for them to ask all the questions. Us, when Dr. Diana will just do the guidance. But there's the safety aspect of it. And based on what we have seen on social media, and especially when we're looking at surgery, unfortunately, for the botched, surgery, we've had some people losing their lives. So the safety aspect of it, what is it that we really need to focus on? And even on the peptides, we have seen, the downside of it. So you will help us really understand that. But thank you so much. Next up, we have Dr. Kireki Omanwa, the only man, the only gent in the panel today. And thank you so much, Dr. Kireki, for joining us this morning. He's a consultant obstetrician gynecologist and also the president, Kenya Obstetrical and Gynecological Society. Dietary, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Let's appreciate you. So now we're seeing a lot of conditions, we were talking about PCOS earlier on. So a lot of conditions, gynecological conditions, if I must say, that weight is an issue, diet is an issue. And I'm really happy that the panel is very, very diverse today. So probably just take us through all that in the next 10 minutes, if you can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I want to thank Nation Media Group for inviting us, and a happy International Women's Day for all of us. I wish men in the house, tuko watatu. I wish we were more organized than this, but tutaitana nyuma attend, and then we'll do that. Now, women's health is very important. It is, without women, we cannot be here. And the conditions that affect women will affect men as well, secondarily. But here, when you're talking about women's issues, it's a whole spectrum. And Kenya, we have a lot of problems with women, starting from preconception care. Very few women actually go for preconception care. Just before you get pregnant, you need to have a consultation. Are you okay? Is your blood group okay between you and your husband, for example? How is your weight relative to what you're planning to do? How much do you know about what you want to get into? Because most of the time is, oops, I'm pregnant. And then from there, that is when now we start, sorting out these issues. We have a problem with teenage pregnancy. 250,000 teenagers get pregnant every year. And these are children who have no business having sex, but they're there. Look at Samburu County, 50% of the pregnancies are actually adolescent pregnancies. It's a big problem. On the average, 15% of the women, of the pregnancies that we see are actually teenage pregnancies. Then we get pregnant. Some of the challenges that we have are issues with weight gain, or sometimes even weight loss. We get patients who say, Daktari, now I've gained so much weight, but I'm pregnant, what do I do? I say, forget about that weight. You to the sort, but once you have given birth is when we'll come to it. But then there are also other issues as well. The issues of polycystic ovarian syndrome, which affects about 10 to 15% of women who actually don't know that they have that problem. They come to us with Dr. Ndego here. They are trying to get pregnant. They can't get pregnant. Typically, when you look at these women, most of them have what we call, classical presentations. Some of them are overweight. Some of them may have hair, in typical places for men. Women are not supposed to have hair, up on your upper lip. They're not supposed to have a beard, and so on. We talked about the excess weight. They have infrequent, or very rarely do they have their periods. I had a patient who had a period every 2 years, and she's trying to get pregnant. So it is practically impossible for her to get pregnant. They usually, as I said, most of them have a problem with weight. Why? Because when you look at the biochemistry, in our fatty tissue, Dr. you said very well that we are more rounded in the right places. Let me put it that way. So when we have extra of these fatty tissue, our bodies can convert that in that fatty tissue. They can convert some of the hormones. You have a little bit excess of the male hormones, and this now throws everything into a tailspin. You have excess of these male hormones, and because of that, your normal cycle is thrown out of sync. So this affects the ovaries, the normal function of the ovaries. So you may not have the periods the way you're supposed to have it. If you don't have periods the way you're supposed to have it, chances of getting pregnant are very, very low. There are other issues as well. If you look at the issue of fibroids, 30 to 60% of women of African origin will have fibroids in their reproductive period. And again, fibroids, like yesterday, day before yesterday, I was in theater. We removed a womb which was 36 weeks. It was like she was carrying a baby, but it was full of fibroids. Luckily, she had given birth, so she didn't actually need to have that. But then she had very heavy periods. Her HB would drop, that is her level of blood, would drop to about 5. So we really had to get rid of that. Now, the other thing is that women of African origin, apart from having fibroids, almost all of them, the fibroids are more in number, in terms of number. A colleague of ours removed 104 fibroids from one patient. And the sizes are also bigger when compared to other people. I've removed a 7-kilo fibroid. That was basically weight loss straight away, and so on. We have issues with endometriosis, for example. By the way, March is Endometriosis Awareness Month, and most women don't know that they have endometriosis because of the pain. We have normalized period pain. When a young lady starts having her periods and complains to the mom says, "Ata mimi nilikuwa na uchungu kama hiyo." You will outgrow it, which is actually not true, because they continue having this problem, and by the time endometriosis is diagnosed, it has affected the ovaries, it has affected the tubes and other organs, so they have challenges having pregnant. We have issues with infertility. Good morning. How many of us know somebody who has an issue with infertility? Just hands up. How many? There we go. Infertility affects about 10 to 15% of the Kenyan population. Have we ever heard any politician talking about infertility? Because it is stigmatizing. When we don't have a baby, we are considered less women, as it were. I had a patient who came and told me she went to church, and by the way, this happens to all of us, unfortunately. We don't think about it. Hii tumbo itabeba mimba lini? And that is in charge. And the person who was doing this did not know that this lady that she's asking, hii tumbo itabeba mimba lini, had actually miscarried the week before. So we are not sensitive in some issues, and so on. So we have quite a bit of challenges, but I'm happy that we are here talking about these challenges. We are here. I wish International Women's Day would be every day.
Yes.
so that we'd be talking about this. And then there are also other social issues which come with this. The issues of what we eat, what we drink. And by the way, we say that what men do, women can do what?
Better.
Okay, sawa tu. Sawa tu. So there are also challenges with that. There are also issues with, for example, PPH. When we come to deliver, we lose a lot of women, by the way. We lose about 30 women every month, not even 30 women, 300 women every month, because of issues of excessive bleeding after delivery, which is a big problem. It's not only a problem for us, it is also a social problem, and so on and so forth. So we are here to listen to those questions and answer them. And happy International Women's Day to all of us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kireke. And I know, yes, so many. So please just note down your questions, as many as we can, right? But up next, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Dr. Wanjiru Ndegwa Njuguna, who, let me tell you, is the only woman that we know who owns Footsteps to Fertility Center Clinic. Dr. Ndegwa, it's so good to see you, but she's also a consultant, obstetrician, gynecologist, and KMPDC, certified specialist in reproductive endocrinology and fertility. Dr. Ndegwa, the floor is yours, and thank you so much for making the time. Let's put our hands together for her. We're always told time. That if women, right? So can we talk about all those pressures and, all things fertility and infertility and sub-fertility, which I think I learned from either of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, Nation TV. Thank you, everyone who braced the cold weather and the early morning to come and be here. And happy International Women's Day. I think we should love ourselves as women, Right? Like we carry a lot, yeah. So I'm very honored to be here. As Winnie has introduced me, I am very passionate about fertility. And I'll just start with that questions because I think today is her health, her choice. And I think the one thing, if you don't take anything away from what I say, is it is your choice as women. And I think as women, we need to not shy away. We need to fight for what we feel is right for us. And with that, we have heavy burdens. We carry the stigma of fertility a lot of the time. Unfortunately, in the reproductive field, we do have, I don't even know what to say because Dr. Kireki might come at me, but we do carry the burden. As women, as we know, we have all the eggs that we are born with. Men are lucky, they reproduce sperm every 3 months. Every single day there's some new sperm coming up, and by 3 months, in 72 days, there's a new batch. For us as women, we don't have that privilege. We do have a time clock, and when I say it is your choice, it is your choice to make. I think as women, we're told, okay, we need to be educated. Let's go to school. Let's get an education. Let's get a degree. Let's do our masters. Let's get PhD. Let's climb the corporate ladder. Lovely. All those things are lovely. But I think what we have not done as women is tell women that, you know what, we do have a clock. And in all these nice things, it's lovely to have your own money, by the way. Lovely to be able to make choices and not wait for a handout to go make your hair. But at the end of the day, we also want to have a balanced and full life. And for me, I tell women, you need to make your choice. Do you want children somewhere in the future? And maybe some people don't. It's not something for everybody, and that's why it's her choice. Do you want children? Do you want to get married? Do you see yourself at 30 with a baby, 40 at a baby, 50, I don't know, whichever age. And if you do, then you need to make choices understanding your reproductive system. As I'll go back to say, yes, all our eggs are in our system by the time we are born, and they start to waste very, very fast. By the time you're born, half your eggs are gone. By the time you're in your puberty, which is about 14, you have about 1,000 or so eggs left. And these waste it's 5,000, and these waste every single month. So we do ovulate only 1 egg, and I think it's important for women. We ovulate 1 or 2 eggs, but in that cohort of eggs that were being, it's actually a race for fitness. There are lots of eggs that come out at the beginning of the month. Our hormones in the brain feed them for one to ovulate, but in that, a lot are wasted, a lot die. So you don't waste 1 egg every month. You waste 10, 20, some people waste hundreds, depends on what your basket holds. The more eggs you have, the more you waste. And it is true that by 35, our eggs have wasted a lot. And by 43, ladies, whether we like 43, there is a huge dip. And it gets so hard to get pregnant after 43. Yeah. So this myth that people are getting pregnant at 50, at 55, at 60, I just want to say it's lovely, but please don't look at someone who's gotten pregnant at 48 or 50 and say, I have time. No, you don't know what she did, by the way. You don't know whether she froze her eggs at 30 because now there's technology to do your egg freezing. You don't know whether she used a donor egg. You do not know what she did. So please make choices in your life, wholly understanding that your reproductive system is not like a man's. These guys at 80 will have a child or 2. Us guys don't have. And it's not only the numbers, ladies, it is the quality. I tell people that whether we like it or not, I'm in that age where I'm realizing, we are not as young, the gray hairs are coming in. And if those hairs are graying, if our wrinkles are starting, if our bones and muscles are wasting, our eggs are too. Whether we look younger, whether whether we are 46 and look younger or what, our body system is aging. Our DNA is not as good as it used to be. We need to understand that. So our egg health is also not as good. Our egg health is also not as good. So it's about numbers, it's about quality. Not everybody is given the same slate. Some people will, I've had patient at 48 who gets conceives and moves on. But those are the outliers. It's not the most patients. It's the outliers, the 5%, the 3% of the population. So please, I think for me, just as women, let's make choices, right choices. I always say this to the younger women. If I give any advice to younger women, please meet whoever you want to meet in your younger years. Grow together. Make money together. Don't look for this other older person who, I mean, it's important to make life choices and the right life choices so that at the end you have a whole life. It's a very lonely life to be 50, not for everybody, but I will say this, and go have all these accolades and your Range Rover and your house in Karen and go to an empty house. So please, let's think about that.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ndegwa. Hey, Maukweli, zile sometimes you don't want to hear. But I really like what you're saying, that yes, you have the choice is yours, but also make healthier choices for yourself and make choices that are good for yourself and informed choices at that. I know there's so many questions for you as well, so please note them down. And then let's welcome Betty Okere. Again, another familiar face, Betty Okere, who's a clinical dietitian as well. And Betty, we've talked about weight and our hormones and fertility. Majority of the times, all those things boil down to what we eat, what we consume. So the floor is yours, and you have exactly 10 minutes.
Thank you very much. And I know when issues of food are brought to the table, everyone looks at me and they go like, oh yeah, you're going to tell us what not to eat and how to starve ourselves to the contrary. But as it has rightly been said by all the previous speakers, it all boils down to healthy eating. Whatever we do, whatever technology will come in, there must be a way in which you can be able to eat. That is why, even when we have our patients in the critical care, they still eat, by the way, yeah? You know that, right? Yes, they still eat those pipes you see going into their bodies because in fact, at that point, they eat more than the rest of us who are walking because they require that energy to be able to heal and to function properly. Matters weight are weighty as we can imagine. And 90% of the times, people are coming for a quick fix. We are women, and we know what we do. Today, we wake up and somebody makes a comment that we don't really like. What happens? You have my number, you call. Betty, I need you to fix me. Can we do it on the phone? And I'm thinking, well, I could suggest what you can do, but that's not how to do it. So when we are talking matters weight, we are talking matters beyond the BMI. BMI is actually a screening tool to try and tell us in the population who seems to not have the correct weight. So we use it to screen, and it can give indications of where we can start, but that's a screening tool. There are so many other ways in which we can find, we can get to understand if we have the right weight or not. And yes, we are carved in the right places, some of us, others like some of the ones in the room, including myself, we are not carved in those areas, but we are not complaining. Yes, but what are the other ways which we can use to try and identify if somebody has got excess weight? One of the most simple and common ones is finding out or calculating a waist-hip ratio. If you were to take the measurements of your waist, and your waist is not where you ask your designer or your tailor to measure your trouser waist from, okay? It has to be on your navel, parallel to the ground. If you bend on any side of your body, whether left or right, that first fold that you find, put your tape measure there and let it be parallel to the ground in centimeters. Get that number. And then divide it by your hip circumference. The fullest part of your hips, yes, all of us have hips, please, irrespective of what we think we look like. So the heaviest part, the largest part, again, parallel to the ground, and have that waist to hip ratio. If you're more than one, if that ratio is more than 1, there is a problem. If it is more than 1.2, now you have gotten into obesity. The other thing is also, again, trying to say we are Africans, we are curvaceous and all that, and it comes from the genes. Yes, genes have got a role to play. Yes, they do have a role to play. Look at that lady who delivers a child who's more than 4 kilograms. Already, there were issues with insulin use in utero. So what happens to that child? You have already given them a disadvantage when they grow up. Why? Because then they are more likely to be obese or overweight as adults because of just what they suffered at birth. And maybe that is just a lady who was pregnant. Again, seeking preconception care is not taken with the much importance it should be taken with. So what happens? People just get pregnant, oops, and we move on with life. Maybe you have issues with sugar, gestational diabetes, you never took care of it. Maybe somebody has had several miscarriages, and then you say your relatives at home, your village mates have a thing against you, but sometimes it's just medical, okay? And then they have insulin resistance and all these things, and they end up with a large baby who they now expose to obesity later in life. So what other way can we use this? What we call body composition analysis. Sometimes we just want to know where is that fat, so that we are not classifying somebody as obese when they're actually weight lifters. I wonder how much weight we can lift in this room. Personally, I'm only able to lift 10 kgs. Yeah, so body composition analysis to just tell us, when you come and say, yes, I've been told I have weight and somebody body shamed me, I think it's my bones that are heavy. We're able to tell you from that analysis that, by the way, from these measurements, your bones are only 2.5 kilograms, okay? And maybe your water is at 30%, and then your muscles are at, 10%. We are able to tell you that. Now, what is good nutrition? I don't call it dieting, because dieting essentially refers to you're being denied something so that you can be able to achieve another thing. But how sustainable is what you're being denied for it to be able to make you do the right thing? So I call it good nutrition. When you wake up in the morning and you need to start your car, what do you check? When you ignite the car, that the car is cool, the engine is cool, all right? There is sufficient water. The washer has water, especially now that it is raining, so that you don't bump into problems. But how much more do we take to fuel the body that is going to run the whole day? There is no way you can run with a body that is not fueled. I am not against intermittent fasting, because it is one of the ways in which we can try to do calorie restriction when we are managing your weight. But how are you waking up and functioning without fuel? Your body must be trying to do something else to make it function. Unfortunately, sometimes what it does is to work on stress hormones, cortisol, for example, so that it behaves the way sugar would have behaved to give you energy. So you reach the office and you don't like the cat that has come to the office, you kick it. The watchman has looked at you in a way you don't like, you are shouting. The tea lady has come and the cup is white, but your specs, you didn't wipe them. The cup looks cream and you shout at them. But you don't know that you're working on, you're surviving on your stress hormones. The higher the stress hormones, the higher your possibilities and chances of having what? Insulin resistance. And when you have insulin resistance, now we go on a downward spiral. Lastly, as I mentioned on the issue of polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is very common, and sometimes it goes undiagnosed because there's no pain per se that accompanies it. And sometimes as young ladies, the fact that they start their periods and then you miss it, you're very happy. And right now, what is happening, we are even stopping the periods from coming. Yes, we know all the drugs and we are no longer getting prescription drugs from the doctors. We are buying them. So when that happens, what are you doing to your body? So you run with all this and then you realize there's pharmacological intervention to weight loss, and now we are buying the GLP-1s from the spa. It has not maintained the cold chain. You do not know what dosage you need to be on. You do not know what else is going on in your body. And then what happens after 2, 3, 4 months? You have wasted away your muscles. You now look old. You have lost weight, but you now look old. And then you want to come to be fixed. Yes, there'll be plastic surgery, but you know, we can only go to a certain extent. If your body is wasted, what do we do to try and make sure that comes back to life? But don't worry, that is why we are here today, so that we can ask all the questions and start right. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, Betsy. All right. Wow. Hey, beautiful insights. All right, Dr. Diana, we are learning.
We are learning. We are definitely learning. I mean, first, happy International Women's Day again. Yeah. Thank you, panelists. I mean, quite beautiful insights, and people are already messaging and saying, hey, Dr. Ireri, thank you for being here and representing the men, right? Because the first question we had was really more, I've been struggling with fertility, right? I don't think there's something wrong with me. I think it's my husband. Maybe address a little bit about the men's side as well.
As the male representative, as a boy child in the house with my two colleagues who are somewhere here. Yes, when we talk about infertility, it's basically an issue, as I said, affects about 10 to 15% of the Kenyan population, the grown-ups at least. The women bear the brunt of infertility. Why? Because after the niceties of the wedding and everything and wishing them many children, 1 year passes, 2 years pass, and nothing has happened. The women are the one who ask, Kwani, what is happening? Mothers start sending emissaries to come and talk to you, the ladies. Kwani, maybe there's some food you need to give your husband or you need to eat, and concoctions and so on and so forth. But what we don't realize is that about 40% of the issues of infertility actually affect us men. Lakini tunasemaga mbele iko nini? Iko sawa. Lakini haiko sawa. So the issue with men, number one, we think that we are okay, but most of the time we're not okay. Most of the time when you ladies come with your husbands, with your partners and so on, you find on your side everything is okay. The men usually are very confident until they're told, apa kuna shida. And then we wither away and we don't know what to do. What I want to tell my brothers out there is that please don't run away if there is a problem. If your wife suspects that there is a problem, it is always nice for you to come as a couple, because most of the time the men send their women, enda kwanza upimwe, alafu utaniambia, utaniletea ripoti baadaye. Then it becomes a bit of a challenge. We can help these men, and it's usually very easy. They give us a sample, a semen sample. Do you want me to say how it's done? Okay.
Yes.
So we need a sample, and we actually tell them usually through masturbation. And most of the time they say this is an African, we can't do it, and whatever. Suggest mama anaweza kukusaidia pia. Ni sawa tu, so long as we have that sample. In that sample we look at the volume. And by the way, ladies, men produce only about half a spoonful. Sio nyingi zaidi. Ikienda sana 3/4 of a spoonful for all that energy. Anyway. Now, in that half a spoonful, we actually look at the volume. 1.5 milliliters is what we need or more. We look at the number of sperms in that milliliter, 1.5 milliliter. There's something we call concentration. We need it to be about 15 million per milliliter or more. And then we have what you call the count, the total number of sperms in that. Let's say he has produced 3 milliliters, for example, and in 1 milliliter is, let's say, 40 million. So the count will be 40 million times 3. So it's 120 million. Very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sample. We look at how those tiny things swim. And some of them swim very fast, others a little bit slower, like the Kenyans, long distance runners. So we put the sprinters and the long distance runners together, and we need that to be about 40% only. And then we look at what you call the normal forms. What are normal forms? It's a sperm which has an ovoid head. It has what you call a neck piece. In the neck piece is where we have mitochondria, which actually propels that sperm to swim, produces energy. And then we have a tail. Now, some of those sperms will have a round head, some of them will be amorphous, some of them will have half a head, some of them will have a short tail, 2 tails, etc., etc. So these ones, we remove them. The ones which are normal, we only want them to be 4% only. So if we work with 120 million, 10% of 120 million is 12 million. 1% is 1.2. So 4% will be 2.4, 4.8. Out of 120 million, tunataka tu about 5 million peke yake. The more, the better. There's a lot of wastage going on there, but we need only that. So men, yes, we have a problem. We can solve these problems. We are here. We are educated. Tumetoka ngambo, tumesoma, tumeleta hiyo masomo hapa. We want to help our mothers. We want to help our men, especially our men. Waje tuwasaidie. Thank
Absolutely.
you. On behalf of the men as well.
on behalf of the man. I can see there's some questions that people who want to stand up, if you want to pass a note as well. I have one here before I pass the mic, which is to Dr. Mukami. Will the weight loss drug keep you skinny after you stop using it?
Can we take like a round, maybe? Yeah, of questions, and please just note them down. So for those of us who want to pass on the question directly, please let us know who you want to answer your question. So just shoot up your hand, Dr. Diana will see you, and we'll bring the mic close to you.
Absolutely. I'll pass on the mic.
Mine goes.
Do you understand? Yes,
Right.
please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so mine goes to Dr. Becky. So in terms of cooking fat and cooking oil, why is it that we know about the saturated and the polyunsaturated fats and what it contains, the carbons and all? So why is it that when someone develops an autoimmune disease or a lifestyle disease, that's when we go telling them, now you need to change the oil you're using. Now you start using olive oil or coconut oil or all these other oils. Why is it that it's not, like for example in weight loss, why is it that you're not told during that time, or you're not told every day that you need to use different oil? They wait for you to have a lifestyle disease, autoimmune disease, to tell you to change these things.
Another mic. I do have another question here. I think this is to Dr. Ndegwa, around what's the earliest age that you can get your tubes tied as well. Can go with those ones. Another mic. Pass the mic. Yes. You can stand up, please. Sorry.
Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much for the insightful talk. I've got two questions. Oh, sorry, I'm Emily. My first question goes to Dr. Erere. Sorry, Kireri. You see, most women start taking good care, like most women start checking up their health once they get pregnant. But what are the critical things that women need to do before getting pregnant that most people overlook? And then on to my next question to Dr. Ndegwa. Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Does intermittent fasting actually interfere with your blood count?
I think that's more of Betty. Yeah, Betty's question.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, there's a hand. Ooh-wee, at the back over there. Ooh-wee.
Hi divas. Nawapenda bure. My name is Eunice Owino from Mount Kenya University. My question is related to fibroids. I want to know if there's a way women and ladies can take action to prevent fibroids. Of late, we've seen very young girls and ladies suffer from fibroids. Actually, today we had a conversation with my colleague, Anne is here, who lost a niece at 29 because of fibroids that grew out of the uterus, and we lost her. She was buried a week ago. So this has been heavy on many women, and we wish to know how can we act on the preventive measure. What can we do? Thank you.
All right. Dr. Dana, do we answer those first and then? Fantastic. All right. Oh, good.
Happy Women's Day, everybody. I have a question to Dr.
Kireki.
Yes. I have fibroids myself, and I have a 16-year-old who seems to be also saying how she's having a lot of pain during her menses. How can I help her as in regards to what she has just said about creating awareness, and how can I help so many other girls who are suffering the same? Thank you.
Yeah, I think let's answer those ones, and then as we get the mics to you. Okay, all right. Yes, Dr. Makami?
So unfortunately, the weight loss is not permanent. I'm happy now that the drugs have been in the market for some time, so research is ongoing. So it has been shown that the people who stop getting the drug, the weight loss drug, rebound. Hence why it's important to work on the nutritional aspect and the reason why you turn to food, the psychological aspect. So as Betty rightfully said, there is no quick fix. Even with the GLP, the drugs, it's not a quick fix. You will not lose weight unless you incorporate the nutritional aspect and a bit of exercise and your why. So you will rebound, unfortunately.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Makami. Yes, Dr. Kireki?
Thank you. I think I have 2 or 3 questions, and 2 of them are actually put together. I'll start with Emily, who asked about what needs to be done before a lady gets pregnant. There are simple things. Visit your doctor. Your doctor will take a blood test. 28 to 47% of women who are expectant have anemia. Anemia is where your blood level is lower than it is supposed to be. Know this, because having anemia can actually be a problem. Number 1, getting pregnant. Number 2, your pregnancy being healthy. Number 3, we will avoid PPH, excessive bleeding after delivery, if your hemoglobin level is okay. Know your blood group. How many of us here know our blood groups? Ladies, we are organized. I think if I asked a room full of men whether they knew their blood group, I think maybe 2 would know their blood groups. So know your blood group. Is your blood group okay? If you were to get married to a gentleman who had a different blood group, is there a chance that there could be a problem, what we call incompatibility? Very, very important, because if you didn't know your blood group and there is what you call rhesus incompatibility, there may be a chance that the baby may have a problem and so on. Know your weight. Nutrition status is also very important. If your nutrition status is not good, it will affect the baby when you are expectant. Are you taking any supplements? We know that if you are not taking folic acid, for example, that baby may have challenges with what we call the neurotubal defects. So all these are important. Go to the dentist as well. We know that if you have issues with your teeth, you may have premature preterm labor. Have all these things sorted out, and then we expect, of course, we can't say that after doing all this, you'll be 100%, okay, but we'll have mitigated very, very many problems. Now, when should we start? I think going to your doctor, going to a gynecologist should start as early as possible. The lady who asked about the 16-year-old daughter, I think with those pains, now I'm connecting the 2 or 3 questions together, I think the earlier we start, initiating this contact with the gynecologist is very important, because usually we see ladies who come and say, I will never see a gynecologist again because I went and I was traumatized for whatever reason and so on. Easing ourselves into these regular checkups is very important. The earlier we do it, the better. Talking about fibroids, we saw, as I mentioned, unfortunately, statistics don't lie. 30 to 60% of women of African origin have an issue with fibroids. Paul Esana, Diva, about that 29-year-old lady who passed away because of fibroids. It is not right for any woman to die at 29, whether it's because of fibroids, whether it's because of delivery, it is not right, and we are very sorry. We're very sorry about that. How do we do, or what can we do to prevent fibroids? Unfortunately, nothing much in terms of prevention. That if we tell you, if you eat this less, if you eat this more, then the chances of you having fibroids will be less. We don't have that information. Even though there is still work that is ongoing, there is research whether some amino acids which are in some foods could have a tendency to increase the chances of having fibroids. But still research is very early at this moment. So what can we do? I think what can be done is for you to have those regular checks. And then there could be symptoms 60% of the women who have fibroids actually don't know they have fibroids. It's an incidental finding. But those ones who have the symptoms, it is very clear. Your periods are heavy. And then we ask, how heavy are they? Daktari natumiaga pads. Which ones? For us gynecologists, tunajua pads zote. Unatumia maxi? Unatumia maxi. How many? Sometimes I use a whole pack. There is a problem. Sometimes I use a maxi and I use a tampon and there's still leakage. Then there is a big problem. Are there clots? Yes, there are clots. There is a problem. So having these regular checks is very important. For that young lady who is 16 years old and having pain during menses, this may not be necessarily be connected with the fibroids, but it could be connected with endometriosis. In Europe, there was research which was done. I think it was done in 5 countries, in Austria, in the Netherlands, I think in Denmark and 2 other countries. They have a well-structured healthcare system, and it was noted that in that very well-structured healthcare system, for them to diagnose endometriosis, it took 8 to 10 years to diagnose endometriosis. So we start at 16 with that pain, we normalize it, we give them painkillers, we graduate into other stronger painkillers. Meanwhile, time is, continuing. By the time they get diagnosed properly, 8 to 10 years have gone. What about here in Kenya, where our health system is not very structured? So what are we doing to raise awareness? What we are doing now is raising awareness. Winnie Lubembe here, we have done quite a number of, programs together. Dr. Wanjiru has gone to the media quite a bit to talk about women issues. And even now, Endometriosis Awareness Month, we're also planning to do some awareness as well. So these are the little things that we are doing, but then the bigger awareness can be created by you. When you hear you have a problem, kuna uchungu, enda kwa daktari. Ladies are better at that than men. Men, we don't go to the doctor at all. Thank you.
I see that. All right, so Dr. Ndego, before you answer the questions, just to alert our TV audience who are joining us live that we're taking a break. And then for those of us who are here who'd want to go to the next masterclass, which is Step into Boardroom, a masterclass on board basics, which starts at exactly 11 a.m., would also allow you to do that. But as we'll continue with the conversation, kumewaka moto here, okay? So for our TV audience, we're taking a break. We will see you probably in the next 5 minutes or less. But meanwhile, Dr. Ndego?
So mine was a question on tubes tying, and So if you're going to eat 1 meal a day, for example, or you're going to eat within 2 hours, practically speaking, how much can you eat to be able to fit all the nutrients that you require? Nutrition is the science by which we give nutrients to our bodies to facilitate the normal body functions. It is not for you to feel a certain way, but as we talked about it, there's a psychological aspect of why we run to food. So most of the people that I have seen who do intermittent fasting, some are successful, but some now pay. When it is their time to eat, they pay. All right? And you pay by eating what you like, not necessarily what your body needs. Dr. Kireki said, for the people who are coming for pregnancy, already, just by being a woman, chances of you having a lower HB level is high. And then now you're only eating once per day. Are you able to fit all your iron, folic acid, magnesium requirements? Ujana ni moshi na unapita. Today you're 20, tomorrow you're 35, and the clock starts ticking. You get to 40, you breathe in, and you think there is weight. So please, as long as you're born, and today I'll be a bit selfish and only talk about women. As long as you're born a woman, the reproductive stages in our life that requires us to eat proper, don't wait for when you're 30. So don't be 40 and then now you're stressed about menopause, for example. You were born a lady, what did you expect? You will get into menopause. So the same way we're talking about reproductive health and talking about menses is how we should also address and be prepared for some of these stages in life.
Wow, thank you so much, Betty. And just want to say welcome back to our TV audience who are just joining us. It's International Women's Day, and today we're running a masterclass on her health, her choice, fertility, and weight loss. And we're saying if you have a question, feel free to engage with us as well, either on our YouTube Live or Facebook Live, and we'll pass your questions on to our experts today. But for now, Dr. Diana, over to you.
Absolutely. I have
Happy Women's Day to everybody. My name is Marcella, and this goes to my friend from campus, Betty. From Dr. Google. Please don't judge me. We all do, yeah? Come on, help me. Yes, Dr. Google and Dr. Piers. We get to hear something like, when you get to 40, where we have gotten, you need to fast, I think, often or for some time so that you can let your gut digest or something like that, and things like that. How true is that? And really, do we have to fast? And how is that? Because at some point I even heard that you need to fast, at least water fast for several days. And I'm like, me? I've never done that, and I'm not sure I'm ready to do that. So could you please expound on that? Is that true? And then secondly, there's just one that I'm not sure it is the right session, or maybe I came late, sorry, but I wanted to ask about this vaccination for girls, yes, for HPV. Could someone just talk about it? Because I have a 12-year-old and I'm really conflicted. Kidogo, I hear again, Dr. Google and Dr. Piers, especially Dr. Piers. There's a lot of confliction. We should, we shouldn't, maybe not. Can someone just, help us there and talk about that? Thank you.
We had another hand.
There are quite a few hands.
Thank you very much. Happy International Women's Day. My name is Elizabeth. I have 2 questions. I'll start with where Betty stopped at menopause, and so this will go to either Dr. Kireki or Dr. Ndegwa. So we talk about when we have the babies, but what about menopause? Because it affects the lives of women. And secondly, this is more of a policy question, but I will pass it to you, Dietary. So the GLP drugs, as it is, they're expensive. But for it to be more inclusive, how do we make it available, especially to women with disability and are using wheelchairs? They're not able to exercise. How do we also make this available? Thank you.
Hello, happy Women's Day. So this question will go to probably Dr. Kiriki. Yes, again, it's more or less about menopause. So every woman at every stage, at some stage, goes through perimenopause or menopause. It's a topic that's really not discussed much, and there isn't much information about it, yet it's a big thing right now. Research also says women, when they're at menopause, it's when most of the marriages start breaking. They don't seem to be understood, and they go through all this roller coaster of hormones. My question, therefore, is about HRT and more information on hormone replacement therapy, which some experts advocate. There's a lot of controversy also around it, and there's mixed information. So some have very good experiences, and some have fear of risk that follow with it. So I feel personally that there is very little information about HRT and how to deal with perimenopause and menopause. And Dr. for you, what's your perspective on this, and how would you guide women like who have such queries? So thanks. Yeah.
We'll take this round, and then there are 5 more questions I'm holding as well.
Thank you so much. Happy International Women's Day. My name is Yamanta. So my question is for Dr. Ndegwa or Dr. Kireri. My question is more on preconception and specifically on supplements. So part of doing my research, I'm there in that category. Part of doing my research, actually, I've been seeing most of the information I'm getting is I should be taking folic acid and CQ10 So I wanted to go and buy the supplements, so I'm so grateful. I've come here first. Yeah, I just want to know what supplements should I be taking that are safe, considering probably you want to conceive maybe in the next 1 year or so. And then the second question is for perimenopause. Sometimes you get some symptoms and you're like, is this menopause? Like how young or what symptoms should I be looking out for? Thank you.
Can I just say something on menopause and So this week on Your World, the show that I host, we started a conversation on perimenopause, menopause, and post, and we'll continue the same conversation next week on Wednesday. So please, as they answer, also remember to tune in next week Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12.
We can take one more on this side.
Thank you very much. My name is Melina, and I'm from Samburu, and my question is to Dietary. So mostly we deal with young teenage girls, and some are mothers, some are not yet. And the biggest question they ask, as much as yes, we do have the biological clock, they usually ask me, when is the right time to have kids? So maybe share your perspective on that and how would you deal with that? Thank you.
Any more on this side? We can answer those, then I take that side.
Oh, all right. Let me just start because there was the issue of gut health and a bit of what do we do for nutrition when it comes to menopause. I'll answer the menopause one last so that then the fertility experts can take it up. So gut health, what do we understand by gut health? You know, sometimes we use big words and then they scare us. Gut health, it's basically your digestive health, all right? What you put in is what you get out, all right? So as much as we are saying, we're trying to advocate for healthy eating, not knee-jerk reactions. There are some foods, of course, after research that we know do support gut health, like the fermented foods, there's kombucha, there is the fermented milk, and all that. But why are you going to ferment cabbage, for example, to get sauerkraut, if then you're going to eat badly? Are you getting? You can't shower and then take your towel, put it on the dust, and wipe yourself. So you first must do what needs to be done, the basics. Before you spend your money on buying your fermented cabbage and kombucha, you have to tell yourself, did I have my breakfast? Did I have my lunch? Did I have my dinner? In those 3 meals, what did I do? And again, the reason why I'm spreading it into 3 meals, so that you're able to make a choice of ensuring that you have all your macro and micronutrients well spread throughout the day without really lowering the chances of having others. Because we're human beings. We tend to eat what we like. So if you decide to eat what you like and you only have 1 meal, will you remember to put managu inside there? And now, unfortunately, Kenyans only eat sukuma, managu, and cabbage, if they really try. And they complain about not having vegetables. Yet, you have your eggplant, you have your courgettes, you have everything. And when we end up cooking them, we boil them until nobody wants to look at them, and we say they are not palatable. So as we do this as nutritionists, we also have culinary experts who we can be able to partner with, and I'm sure some of you in the audience are culinary experts, so that when we say we are coming for this masterclass, for example, what are we being served? Are you getting? But why are they serving what they're serving? Because if they serve what ideally you should be eating, you will not come here, and they're in business, all right? So it has to start from you. It has to start from you telling yourself, what am I putting into my body, and how will that help? Having said that about gut health and fasting, I love food. You may not believe it, but yes, I love food. And I love good food. So I do not see myself fasting unless it is for religious reasons and only for a given period of time. All right? So I only have to look at, if I love this particular thing, let's use an example of cake or soda. If I want to have cake or soda, I have to ask myself, what is it that I'm foregoing so that this can be calculated for what I want to eat in my body? Maybe I'm a bit overboard because I do the calculations in my head, but that is how can we be intelligent about what we are eating. Sometimes people even say, for my gut health, I'll not be eating carbohydrates and all that. Who told you if you don't eat carbohydrates, you'll not gain weight? Because in the absence of that carbohydrate, what are you using to fill in for that space? Your body still requires energy. But are you able to say, I am carbohydrate intelligent? Are you able to lower your sugars and your fats, the saturated fats? Are you able to lower how you get the sugar into your body? Why do you stop eating your ugali, for example, and then you go and drink 2 glasses of juice? It doesn't make sense. And I actually do not know who told us that if you juiced your fruits, then they become more healthy than the one you eat. In fact, you spend less by eating it. So let's just eat well. About menopause, remember, when it comes to food, in menopause and perimenopause, your estrogen levels have started coming down. So your ability to actually have more muscles that would fight that excess fat that is stored has reduced. So what are you putting on your plate? Are they pro-inflammatory, or they're actually helping your body to fight the inflammation? That is what we should be asking ourselves. All said and done, because this is not a consultation session. All said and done, can you work with your experts? Please. When you put your content out there on YouTube, some people put it because it is money generating, and they'll say anything to drive traffic. But that space is not controlled. It's not policy controlled. So you really have to be careful about what you want to listen to. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Betty. Dr. Ndegwa?
Yeah, thank you. I think there was the menopause. There was a question on, I think, preconception or supplements. That's all I'll just answer. I think I like what she said, because I think now we are having a lot of content creators who are just creating everything, and it's confusing. I think in China, they actually are saying now, if you're a content creator and you need to have a degree in that content. And I really, whoever is in policy here, please, we need to have people who have degrees, because this menopause now, like stars are now, and it's financial. I'm sorry, even these GLPs, there's a lot of people who are getting financial gain. So menopause, let me go back now to where I'm passionate. There are experts in menopause. Just let me put it out there. And I think for people who are seeking care, not every gynecologist is a fertility specialist. Not every gynecologist is a menopause specialist. Not every gynecologist is a pediatric gynecologist. And I think people need to differentiate that. So for me, even the HPV, I don't deal with cervical cancer because I deal with fertility. So I don't want to answer that question. But being in the menopausal or peri, I don't know. I have refused to say, but I'm going towards there at some point in my life. I just want to say that I think there's a lot that we still don't know about menopause. I really am sorry for our mothers, because I'm telling you, the mood can go from 100 to 0, and to 0 to 100 when somebody tells you something 7 days to the period. I don't know if anybody is in the age of 43 to 47. There's that stage, 7 days to your period. Please. In fact, I have patients who mark it because they know. We have decided we mark it because your temperature is very high. Like someone just does something small, you can back at them.
Speak closer to the mic, Dietary. Yes.
Sorry, you can eat somebody, yeah? And this is a shift in hormones as we age. It's a shift in hormones as we age, and we need to understand it. So I will advise women how I advise a lot of my friends and a lot of us who are almost in that stage, is that we need to be mindful of ourselves as women. We have many hats. If you're a mother, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're seeing patients, if you're in surgery, if you're here, whatever you guys are doing, we wear many hats. And therefore, we need to take time for ourselves. I think mindfulness for our well-being is one of the most important things that we need to do. You need to take time to have a massage. You need to take time to go and walk in Karura or wherever you can get a forest. You need to de-stress. We also need to exercise. And I think this is what we must. We sit. Before I started doing anything, I would look at this tracker, and I'd have 2,000, 1,000 steps per day. That is terrible. We need, as women, we are losing muscle mass as we go. After 35, we lose, is it 5% of our mass or 3% of our muscle mass every year? Muscle is important, as she'll tell you, for our insulin sensitivity is what makes us gain weight, because we are losing the muscles that actually do a lot in terms of breaking down our fat and other things. So we need to strength train. I tell all the women who come with those perimenopausal, we need to strength train, whether we like it or not. When you said gymney must, or is it Dr. I'm sorry. Strength training is a must. It is what will keep our muscles strong, yeah? And it doesn't have to be, we just need a few dumbbells. But to be honest, these things will help your mental health, will help you manage your perimenopausal symptoms. And I'm talking as someone who, those 7, I would eat somebody. In fact, everybody knows, even my sons would say, wait, something is happening. So once you get into exercising, once you get into a routine of ensuring your mental health is okay, and exercise and diet, she'll tell you about, I don't know if she'll tell, but even eating the right foods and walking your 10K steps, I'm a big believer in these things, because for me, I've seen them change. Your mood is happy, you're a better boss, you're not, you're a better wife, you're a better mother. So let's do those. About HRT, there are specialists who deal with HRT, and the reason I say they're specialists is that HRT is progesterone, it is estrogen. Our bodies they're reducing because our eggs are declining, we don't have enough. There's no one pill fits all. There are people who will react to this, there are people, so you need to see somebody who will monitor how is it going. There are very good preparations now. I don't think we have all here, but we're getting more and more proper preparations in our country. So HRT is not a pill you go. In fact, I have a friend who went and bought over the counter, and she told me I found it in one pharmacy, they agreed. She had gone several pharmacies to get estrogen. Please, ladies, there's a reason why our bodies, the estrogen declines. There's endometrial cancer, there's cancers that are breast cancer. So you need someone who talks and asks you about a family history of breast cancer. You have to have an examination pre-starting your HRT. So don't just go out to anybody. There are specialists who deal with that. Those are the people I recommend to my friends and people who are dealing with it, because and then you need follow-up, because you can have breakthrough bleeding. The HRT can do a lot of other things and make bloating, and because progesterone makes you retain water. So it's not something I'll just say, take this pill. You need to see a specialist.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ndegwa. And yes, to our TV audience, we see your questions. I think we'll answer them, but this is in your absentia because we're saying goodbye to you. There's another live event which is happening in Nakuru, and it's still in relation to International Women's Day. So there's that celebration which will be happening, but we will come back at 2 p.m. for another masterclass that you do not want to miss. So we're saying goodbye to your TV audience, but as we're continuing, the story is here, eh? So yes, so we'll say goodbye to you, but yes, Dr. Kireki, over to you.
Thank you very much.